there, all you brides and grooms. Welcome to this week's episode of Once More with Feelings. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Beth, and we're an emotional journey podcast. We watch the movies, we talk about them, we talk about our feelings. That's how it works.
Pretty much, yes. And
podcast, that how work. That how work podcast.
So this week we ventured into the land of the wedding singer.
The 80s cometh.
Yes. Filmed in 1998, nostalgically takes place in 1985.
Yeah, the IMDb summary says it's a feel-good romance, romantic comedy. It's Robbie, a singer, and Julia, a waitress, are both engaged, but to the wrong people. Fortune intervenes to help them discover each other. None of this sounds accurate.
No.
Except Julia and Robbie are correct in that, I guess, but are we really summing up people by what they do for a living?
Yeah, I mean...
it's called The Wedding Singer, so I guess we are.
I mean, yes. I do know that my own issues with... I'm really good at remembering actors, but unfortunately I also have this thing where I tend to not do really well with names.
Awesome. This is going to go so well.
I have name blindness. So like if you introduce me to somebody and or even like instructional blindness, you can be explaining something to me and I am paying 100% attention to you, but as you're explaining it to me, I do not know anything you've said to me. It's almost like you are speaking a different language that I have never heard in my life because my brain doesn't process stuff really fast. So when it comes to like names and faces, but even when I've seen them 1,000 times, I tend to think of them as, I relate them to somebody else that I know. Okay. In that case, Christina Applegate and Lara Flynn Boyle are not in this movie. They do not play Holly or Linda, respectively.
No, but you have some smell-alikes.
They do. They are. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Christine Taylor. I mean, she is awesome.
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful, and I am so sorry because I know she's not Christina Applegate, but...
Is it because you're equating Christine with Christina?
No, it's because, okay, her in everything reminds me of Christina Applegate in Ron Burgundy. There's just a familiarity, a similarity.
Okay, that I can see. It's that stance, the chin.
They have a very
the way they hold their face.
They could be siblings.
Yeah,
you know?
the way they hold their face.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Angela Featherstone and Lara Flynn Boyle, young Lara Flynn Boyle, like
No, I get that. That's facial structure.
Oh yeah, I mean, and she's got that whole retro thing.
It's the eyes.
Well, and Angela's got the retro thing going on in this movie, but like it reminds me of Lara Flynn Boyle in Men in Black 2, even though that is not
Dos Piques.
no, Dos Piques.
I'm fairly sure that
Piques
is not
the Spanish for peaks. I don't even know, and I don't want to, no, it's not Tetons. That's French, and those are titties.
Which of us is high? I need to settle this.
I am not high.
I'm not either. So
there you go.
We are doing this soberly, which is ridiculous.
Full raw dog in it.
That is not what that means at all. That is not what that means. It means you do not cook the dog that you're walking.
Oh, is it when you don't cook the hot dog and you just eat it raw?
You don't cook the dog that you're walking. It's a popular saying that when you're for dog walkers.
Okay.
You don't cook the dog that you're walking.
So you raw dog it.
It's like killing the golden goose. You don't cook the dog that you're walking.
So I think it would be funny if we did a small...
It hasn't been so far.
In our minds now, a 15-minute podcast, just 15 minutes where we just take some idiom or whatever and just totally get it wrong.
We're doing that now.
Yeah, but like we do this like as a 15-minute little blurb.
But we do it for an hour and a half.
I know.
Already. In the same podcast. We're doing two things at once.
I know. It's weird.
We're very good at it.
Speaking of podcasts, we do have another podcast. I'm going to throw that in the middle of this. I know. I'm going to make it weird.
We already have it.
I know.
You don't have to do it.
I don't have to. I don't want to advertise for it.
We're going to advertise before this. They've already heard it.
Oh, I forgot you're doing that pre-thingy.
No, I'm not doing the pre-thingy. It's you're destroying the magic. You're breaking the wall. that is the fourth.
This is why I don't do the hard stuff.
Yeah, so don't break the fourth wall.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, The Wedding Singer. I used to work for a Bob Hart, but we called him Robbie.
But he wasn't.
He wasn't the wedding singer.
Okay.
No, he was the head of our finance department in internet lending.
Weird. Oh, so he did get the job.
Yes, he got the bank. At the bank because he liked money. It was. I worked at a bank, and he was my supervisor.
So when and how did you come into this movie, and how did you feel about it?
I think I saw ads
as I wrestle you back into the movie.
I heard, I think, just TV ads and stuff, and the whole, retro 1985, and it's funny because, let's see, 1998, when the movie came out, I was 24, and let's see, I had two bebés at that point, but the place that it takes place in 85, I was 11. That's weird. But
so you just had a small time shift.
Yeah, really. For me, I mean, so we were discussing this while we were watching the movie, and it was about how,
it felt more retro in the 90s and 98 than it does now.
And I think it's because when we first saw this movie back in 98 or whenever you saw it, I mean, I saw it on cable. I remember I loved it. I was in love with it from day one, get and go. I am not a huge Adam Sandler fan. There's nothing wrong with Adam Sandler. I've just not seen any of his movies that made me go, Waterboy. I actually do like Waterboy. But most of his movies make me go, it's that whole secondhand embarrassment. He has that type of comedy sometimes.
Right.
I loved him on SNL. That was like one of the higher points of my SNL watching was during, But this movie caught me. I love Drew Barrymore. I loved her in that movie. I loved her hair. There was just so much about this movie, and it's a sweet, romantic, everything. I fell in love with it. So it was it definitely shocked me that I was going to like it as much as I did. I like retro movies, but this one kind of was like, here you go. Platter right there in front of you. If you hear crying, it's because the kitten is meowing and she's being weaned off her bottles, and she's mad because I'm not holding her at this moment. And if I held her, she would probably spend the rest of the night just smacking me about, because that's what she does. So, yes, that's how I felt about the movie back then. How did you feel about it?
I saw it in the theater. But it was good. I really enjoyed it. I was kind of an Adam Sandler fan.
Yeah.
Not everything he's done, but honestly, this is my favorite. I think the next runner-up for me, and obviously it has problems, the 51st Dates.
Yeah, no, I could see that. It's the dynamic of him and Drew Barrymore. They really have chemistry.
I think, but there's also a lot of problematic things with 51st Dates.
Yeah.
There's some problematic things in this as well, and we'll get into that. But when I first saw this, I really enjoyed it for a lot of reasons. One of which is the soundtrack. The songs in it are just, they hit you in the feel good. Mm-hmm. They don't hit you in the feel bad, even when you're supposed to feel bad. You feel good about everything in this movie.
Oh yeah, it's just got the whole package, really.
Well, and the director, was it Frank Carrassi? He has done several of his movies, of Adam Sandler's movies, one is Waterboy.
Oh, okay, that's funny.
The other one is Click. So he knows Adam Sandler well. Of course, I think Wedding Singer came before those. Definitely before Click.
Did it come before Waterboy? I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure Waterboy was in the early 2000s.
I'll have to look that up later.
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, a lot of fun. It was sweet. It was a sweet movie without resorting to saccharine.
Yeah, and it didn't have... So, unfortunately, I relate to a lot of Adam Sandler movies. Not all of them, but I relate to a lot of them. In the Chevy Chase of School of Acting, there's a lot of physical comedy and a lot of it puts me in that uncomfortable place.
Sure.
So But yeah, so he has that kind of uncomfortable comedy, and I think that's part of why I just don't normally enjoy his movies at all.
Yeah.
Again, and it's not even him. It's just the movies in general. Where with Chevy Chase, it's him.
Well, I mean, just a lot of movies aren't your cup of tea, and some of them are not mine.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, Happy Gilmore is good. It's good and funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some places in it I'm just not like really happy with, but it's funny overall. And I think there's some endearing points to it, but some of his other ones, are just really difficult to watch.
Little Nicky,
difficult to watch.
What's that one where he gets the kid?
Big Daddy?
I think it's what it is.
Something like
that.
I don't know.
It was
that
promising.
One made me cry.
I
was going through a custody battle at the time.
It's a
that
hard
was
one.
Horrifying to watch.
I mean, I'd rather sit in Two Men and a Little Lady over and over again if I'm going to sit and watch a movie about the kids. I mean, and that movie's not good. 3 Men and a Baby, yes. 3 Men and a Little Lady,
Punch Drunk Love was great, except it was so serious I didn't know how to take it.
Yeah, that's the other thing is when he goes too serious, I get really weirded out.
Well,
like
I think
I'm waiting.
just then I didn't know how to place him in it.
Yeah.
Because it was just such a direct, opposite of what he usually does. And I was like, I don't know how to reconcile him being there.
Yeah.
So it just kind of took me out of the movie.
And I can see that too. And it's, again, especially when you're not prepared for him to be serious. Because even when he's being serious, because even in The Wedding Singer, when there's moments of his seriousness, there's a levity. And so he has this little smirk that he keeps on. It keeps him, like, even when he's mad, he has this just little, his expression has a smirk to it.
Yeah.
It's not a bad smirk, it's just the way his face is. Yes, and we've talked about this too. This was, I think, this was the peak Adam Sandler attractiveness movies of all his movies, in my personal opinion.
His power layeth within the mullet.
The mullet. It was the mullet. Actually, he just had the cute baby face,
That, and I think also he wasn't trying so hard to be an asshole. He was just trying to be a nice guy.
Well, yeah, because Robbie Hart is a nice guy. Robbie Hart is a good guy.
Well, I mean, the overarching theme of this movie, to me, emotional theme, would be vulnerability.
Oh, yeah, and accepting...
Everybody in this film, with the exception of one, has a vulnerability to them.
Yeah.
And it progresses through it. You just keep seeing these glimpses of each character in their own space having vulnerability.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, I think my favorite with the vulnerability is Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy. Yeah, absolutely.
So Sammy is played by Alan Covert, and he is, he comes off as, he's a womanizer. I'm going to get me some of that. I'm going to give it to her, and really it turns out he just wants to be loved.
And honestly, I know this is, and a lot of it's played for comedic effect, but I think this is probably one of his better films that he's been in. I
think so.
That he is just really allowed to kind of play into what I think he has, this very endearing quality that's beneath all the bluster and bullshit.
Yeah.
And you can get a sense of that. I'm not trying to analyze the movie, but I think it bears looking at because all of these characters have their own themes and they all have an emotional discourse.
Yes.
So let's talk about George. Who is played by Alexis Arquette. And who passed away in September 11th, 2016.
Yes.
And she had a rough time of a lot of things, but when she did this movie, she was initially happy with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But she did evolve, much like I have over different things.
Oh, yeah.
As we go along and dissect the things. She is a trans woman. Was a trans woman.
And she didn't fully transition until well after this movie was made. So this was much, well before that.
Right. But as all trans people, we have to dissect all of the cis influences that are in us that we have tried to portray our entire lives. And she did it in such an early mode. I didn't know how to place her, but I couldn't ever see her as anything but her.
So
even when I wasn't ready to come out, I only ever saw her as her.
So my first exposure to Alexis Arquette is, funnily enough, on Xena. And,
I forgot
and
about
Alexis
that.
played Caligula, and honestly, fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. I am a Xena fan from back in the day. I've seen every episode multiple times. I do not care for the huge Roman thread. I get why they threw the Roman thread in there.
The Romans are in everything.
Well, yeah. But it made sense when, historically, as they were progressing, even though the Xena is a non-historical, fictional gods and goddesses world, I get what they were doing. The introduction of Christianity through, oh my God, Tim Odmanson, he played... he was in it. I know.
People were in it.
Carl Urban. So many people were in Xena.
They just wanted to see the knees.
I mean, fucking Carl Urban played like 4 characters. So, but yeah. So that was like when you saw the Christianity coming in, and then like I said, he played Caligula beautifully, and it was like years later. Like I never even thought much about it. Then when I saw Alexis in The Wedding Singer, it took me a minute to realize that was the same person, not because of how they look, though, because I was going, that name, where do I know that name from? Oh, they were Caligula. And so, yeah, it was, that was my exposure.
It is very difficult, especially with people who have a public life and their lives are recorded in some way. And for actors who have their lives, their earlier lives or their acting roles recorded, there's no graceful way out of the fact that you're never going to stop coming out. And Alexis was going to come out every day of her life.
Yeah.
Because of the roles she's done before in which she portrayed something else. And in this, she is portraying something else. She's portraying George, and she's the butt of the jokes. Everything in it is about her being the butt of the joke.
Yes. The one that I think I don't like the most is when they're with the cake.
Right.
That's the part that really bothers me the most, because even when they're trying on the dresses, they like her, her dress.
Right.
That's the one that Julia picks out. And I feel like Alexis is, or not Alexis, but George is included in, it's just, George is part of the group. George is just George.
But George is included in order to be the butt of the joke for the scene.
I get that. And again, I'm not, I can't look at it. I mean, I can look at it in your position, but I can't look at it from your position because I'm not in your position. But I never saw it that way. I didn't see it as every time was a joke. I get that, but at the time, I just didn't see that, other than the cake being the problem.
I don't necessarily think it was malicious. I think it was that, especially at the time, and I know we're going to keep doing this historical lens because it's going to come up a lot.
That's what they were going
I
for.
still don't like it. I'm not going to like it because historical lens still sees things the way it sees it, and I am not going to be able to reconcile my justice.
Because we want to change. We want to change things. It's just you can't change it. It's like looking through a window. You can't go through the glass.
But Alexis knew that she couldn't change it either,
Yeah.
But she did say that she was not happy about doing the film later on because George was the butt of the jokes.
And I could see that.
And I think that it was important that she was in it.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish there would have been more support.
I wish George had more than one song. And I know that was the joke, but I really wish it would have been, have another Boy George song. That was the whole thing, was the Boy George aspect of it.
Or maybe let her break out into something else.
Or
entirely,
like at the end,
not a Boy George song.
Yeah, like at the end, have a different song completely.
Yeah. But that's, again, we're talking about something that's already happened. There's no changing that.
No.
But just be aware that there's a trans woman involved in this who had not come out yet, or had come out but was not presenting.
Yes.
And, she died. She only has her memory that we hold.
She died young.
To carry her forward. So let's try to remember that she had thoughts and feelings. She was a human being. And when she died, she was serenaded by David Bowie's Starman. Yep. Which I think is pretty incredible.
She had, she was HIV positive and she died of complications. They had her in an induced coma. Yeah. I have issues. Not issues. I've got lots of issues. I get very emotional when HIV is involved. I spent many, many years when I was younger doing a lot of HIV awareness. And so knowing that even in 2016, people are still highly exposed and are still, I still have friends who are, contracted it and they're young people. It just kills me that we're still fighting this battle even, today.
Yeah, it can be a problem. I mean, it's definitely still a problem. Nothing goes away. They come around. No. They come back around in waves.
No, and it's just God, we had such high hopes that we were gonna eradicate, and get rid of and just.
Yeah, well, we thought we got rid of measles too, and look where we are at. We just reintroduced it to the populace.
Yep. So on that note, let's talk about...
It's a feel-good film.
Let's talk about Miss Rosie. Rosie. Oh, God, I love that little old lady.
Ellen. Albertini. Dow.
She was... I mean, this movie launched her little mini career just by doing the Sugar Hill Gang's rap after
she was a rapping grandma.
Yeah, she was, and that was
or a rapping granny or
something like that. And she paid him in meatballs. I mean, it's the meatball. It's when she puts them in his hands, and then she takes his hands and they squish. It's like, and then she holds her hands up, like she's saying, waving goodbye to him, and she's got sauce all over her hands. I want to be that granny.
So she loved working on the film, but even though she hated being the old lady,
I could
she
see
hated
that.
being an old lady for the camera or whatever.
Yeah,
but she enjoyed working on the film, so that's good. I think she enjoyed that. So
and she's definitely a highlight in the film. And then, so my clue last week was these two actors were not credited. Even though they appear in the movie, but they are credited in the soundtrack, and that is Steve Buscemi and Jon Lovitz.
Yeah.
Which is weird because Steve Buscemi's got a pretty big part in the movie, and
Jon Lovitz has a pretty big part.
And with Buscemi, his character is a repeating character because he comes back at the end of the movie.
Right. He's the wedding singer at the end. He is
the wedding singer at the end. So yeah, they are only credited for their songs and not for...
Turns out he was a really good guitar player. Never took a lesson.
Yeah, Dad.
Self-taught.
I fucking love it. But yeah, Buscemi, like you pointed out when we were watching it, is he is a good drunk. He plays a good drunk.
He's really good at being... he's really good at being in those places you don't expect him to be. So like in Poker Face, he's the voice on the radio. But also in 28 Days. Mm-hmm. You just don't expect him to be there, but there he is. He's the counselor.
Yeah.
And you're like, he's so good at being inserted into a movie that isn't about him. And I know he's supposed to be a supporting character, but it's like he's in his own category.
Buscemi is an anomaly, I think, as an actor. He is obviously not conventionally good looking in any way, shape, or form, so he doesn't have that leading role, leading man looks. Yet, he's adorable. He's freaking adorable. I fucking love Steve Buscemi. And,
And that's the thing, though. That's the I fucking love Steve Buscemi of it all. Yeah. Is that I think when you encounter someone, it's not how he looks.
I don't know anybody who doesn't.
It's who he is.
And I don't know anyone I've never met a single person who's like, oh no, I hate Steve Buscemi.
There was the guy that tried to stab him in the bar.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it was in like 90. It could have been around 98.
Oh, well, that
could have been 2000. I don't know. I get my timeline.
Did he hate him because he was Steve Buscemi?
I don't think so. I think they were just fighting in a bar.
Okay.
And someone had a knife.
Okay, well, I could see him being in a bar fight. So he'd be like a wiry little man fighting.
Someone was like, "Shut up, Donnie."
You're a waste. But I actually, and I know you didn't care for it as much as I did, but I liked the series Miracle Workers. And I liked him in
I liked the first season. I didn't get beyond that.
The fucking Western one breaks me every goddamn time.
For reasons, yeah.
Oh, it's the fucking Dan Radcliffe of it all.
I figured that.
But no, even Dan has is shocking. Well, because even in the medieval one, that one's good too. I have not seen the post-apocalyptic one. I think it was on a show or on a channel we don't have.
So this movie, let's go back to this movie, not a TV show. The wedding singer goes through several different emotional phases.
Yes.
So you have Robbie and his crew, and you can see that the movie changes its pacing depending on Robbie's emotional, his main emotional showing.
Yeah.
So in the start, Robbie's happy. He's hopeful because he's getting married. Now, does he know why he's getting married? Not really, but he's getting married and he's very happy about it.
Yeah.
And he's meeting people that, he meets Julia. He is working in this venue where he is a wedding singer, but he also does bar mitzvahs. And he is going through his routine. He's having a good time, and everybody else is having a good time. You can tell he's a very good wedding singer.
Yes, he knows. He takes the time to get to know the families because he's calling people out by name in the initial, when we first meet him in the movie, in that first performance, and he's calling different people out, and Aunt this and Grandma that, and and he's working the crowd, and he's personable.
Well, he literally enjoys what he's doing. He's not doing this as a job. He does it because he loves it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not about what he gets paid. It's about what he gets to do.
Oh, yeah. And he gets to perform and he gets to be, the wedding singer.
But then we have Robbie who gets jilted. And Robbie who gets jilted, who does not have his wedding. And you can tell it's not about her. It's not even about the girl that he lost. He's not depressed about her. He's depressed because he's alone. Yeah. And then you can tell that's they're sitting there listening to Billy Idol's White Wedding right after he was left at the altar. I know, that's so cruel. Y'all are fuckers. And yeah, through this, you're going to get the 80s music and some earlier music. But during this time, he is just inconsolable. And he tries to go back to work, and he just can't make it work. He's sad, he's angry, and he gets punched out by Mark Leno, who is the father of the bride, who gets tired of taking his shit and punches him. Well, yeah, I can't. During Love Stinks. Fucking Jay Giles Band, people. and you gotta love how you can wedge a Jay Giles Band song into... that's a great album, too. Is it? Yeah, well, you gotta... if you ever listen to that album, at the end, there's a song called Hold the Anchovies. It's not really a song, it's more of a song story. I recommend it. It's so weird. I know 2 songs by Jay Giles, and that's one of them. Yeah, my mom had the record, so... The other one's Centerfold, and that's all I know. I think they're both on that same album. But yeah, if you get a chance to listen to Hold the Anchovies, please. Well, and we already talked about this. We are going to be listening to the Wedding Singer soundtrack. Yeah, tomorrow. We're tomorrow. We have things to do, but we can listen to the soundtrack while we're doing them. Looking forward to it. It's a great soundtrack. It's got great music in it. And yes, it's dated, but that's the whole point.
We have had a couple really good movie soundtracks.
Very
So we
good.
had Empire Records. What was the one that we had that I thought was also pretty good? Now I can't remember what it was. Shit! What movies have we done?
All of them?
All of them.
We've done so many movies.
But we've had a lot of movies that had some really good soundtracks. So we've had this one. We had Scott Pilgrim. We had Empire Records. We had... not Pretty in Pink. Pretty in Pink, yes, but we had, before that, we had A Knight's Tale and Scott Pilgrim. So we've had some really kick-ass soundtracks.
That's something that I really, enjoy doing now, as opposed to earlier in my life. I never cared about soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
But now I find myself going back to soundtracks. Like, after we watched Scott Pilgrim, I listened to the soundtrack over and over on the way to work and stuff like that. And then, I did the same thing with A Knight's Tale because it's got some really good music.
Wait, we do the original Batman because that's got a soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Prince. First thing, it's Prince. Second, he wrote those songs perfectly for each scene. Oh, they're beautiful and they tell stories. And The Arms of Orion is a love song beyond measure. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I love Prince.
So then we have Robbie Hart,
Yes.
who falls in love. And you can tell he falls in love because suddenly, quite suddenly, as he's helping Julia, he's no longer sad.
And he's noticing things about Julia. It's the little details, like, oh yeah, she left her jacket there in the back there. Remember when we were on this street and she said it's no longer jacket weather? You only remember things like that when you care about somebody. If you can recite what they're saying. And so I think also the realization of is he didn't really love Linda. It was that not wanting to be alone, like you were saying.
Well, wanting to be married.
Mm-hmm.
And in a sense, being alone. But in this, with Julia, he starts falling in love with her, not with the idea of her or the idea of marrying her.
Yeah.
That doesn't hit him until later.
Oh, yeah. And let's just back up for a hot minute and just, let's talk about Robbie and Linda's wedding that she did not arrive at.
She did not attend, not appearing in this film.
So...
Or in this wedding.
In this wedding. So, 1985. Let's say we're still doing that whole parents of the bride pay for the wedding thing. I know that's not always the case nowadays. But let's say we're still doing that then.
He sunk everything he earned into that wedding.
That wedding was fucking lush.
The gazebo was a dressing area for her.
him.
Oh, was it for him or her?
That was the groom's room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was for her and he went in there.
No, because it was right off of the...
Okay.
Where the dais or whatever it is. And she would have come in from the back. So that was for him.
Yeah, it was the gazebo of dressing.
Yes. He did smash a mirror in there, so bad luck. But yeah, it was just a lush wedding. And I mean, everybody was dressed in white. Even then, not everybody, but like...
Well, this was his dream, so he was trying to really do it right. And even with her flaking out, you can see that he put so much into this. But he didn't care about that. No. That wasn't what he cared about. He didn't complain once in the movie about the cost of anything.
No, he didn't. And then that's actually kind of, that's funny that he didn't. Because she complained about the reason why she didn't want to marry him was because he was just a wedding singer. And yet he didn't...
He's not a rock star.
He's not a rock star. But yet, he did not once complain about the cost of that wedding, which had to be expensive, even in 1980 fucking.
It was at least $50 or $60.
Yes.
In 1958. Or 1985.
And
I said 1958. In 1958 is 45 cents.
So I just think it's funny, and I mentioned this to you, and you just did not get it, but I think other people might get it because they might get the whole the way fashion is.
Calling me out.
I'm calling you out for this one. So the bride in the very beginning of the movie, if you look at her dress and even the headband, my mom wore a very similar headband, and she wore practically that same exact dress in her wedding in 1992. 91, sorry, they were married in 91. 1991. So that was a 1985 dress, and my mom wore the same style 6 years later.
No, I got it. It just wasn't funny.
It was funny to me because it's funny to me because of the style, and then she wanted me to wear it to my wedding in 1995.
You were only a few years away.
I was not wearing that wedding dress. I wouldn't have worn it even then. Like, if it was 91, I would not have worn that dress because that dress was not... It was over the top.
It was very dated, even for the 80s.
Yeah. The big poofy sleeve. I know they were going for the Princess Di look. No, that wasn't my mom. She wasn't doing the Princess Di look, but it had the big poofy sleeves and...
It was mainly the headgear.
Yeah, well, see, my mom's had the headgear, the head poof in the back. She didn't have it on the side, but she did have the headband, and she did make that herself. That
was a lot.
I'll have to find some of the pictures. I have them somewhere of my mom's wedding. It's funny.
So, we have all of these different versions of Robbie.
Yes.
We have one version of Julia.
Yep, she is who she is.
Through it all, Julia is pretty even-keeled.
She's a pretty cool girl.
She has a lot of emotions, but honestly, she kind of lets others dictate what's happening.
Yeah.
For the most part.
She ebbs and flows with them, yeah.
She really does. She's kind of like, she's the ocean to their moon. And I think Julia is a calming force for Robbie. But she's not necessary to calm him.
No.
He doesn't depend on her to calm him down. He just is in love with her.
Yeah.
And that in itself changes his perspective.
Oh, yeah.
So, Julia's always going to follow someone else's lead for the most part. She does have a mind of her own. She gets mad at Robbie. She doesn't really get mad at her fiance, I guess.
Glenn. So, Glenn he's a problem. He's a problem in so many different ways. He has no respect for Julia. He is marrying her because he thinks that she's going to be not necessarily a trophy wife, but definitely the wife who's going to take care of things when he's not around and he's out fucking somebody else. Because he's also
That's exactly it. That's
She's
exactly
the one who's going to make sure his suits went to the dry cleaners and that his life is perfect and that she'll be the one that he'll take to meet the bosses. But when they go on the business trips, she won't be going. That's when he's going to pick up his girls.
Here's the thing, though. Julia is so sweet. She will stay with him and never know that he's cheating because she's so sweet she won't even inquire.
No.
It doesn't even enter her head that he might cheat on her. And she doesn't really care about him that much.
No, and I think even when her mom is trying to get her to get him to commit to a wedding date, and her mom's like, you can fake a pregnancy,
leading you to believe that she did that to her husband, and that's how Julia ended up,
Well, and then the fact that she's like, later on, your dad was the biggest mistake that I ever made, and yet she's like all about, oh, well, Glenn's not a mistake. No, don't make, you should be with Glenn. Because she's also seeing the dollar signs, and that's the problem, is the people were seeing that Glenn has money. And
because he sells junk bonds.
Yeah, junk bonds. Because she's, she's a junk waitress or something like that. That was such a weird analogy that he made. But yeah, it's definitely a weird relationship in that people see the money and they don't see the behaviors. And again, that's a cliche 1980s,
I can see a parent wanting their child to be cared for, but honestly, I'd rather her be loved.
Oh, yeah.
Than to be owned.
Yeah.
Which is what she would have been here.
I mean, yeah, to me, as a parent, I never would tell my children to marry for money over love. I would want to tell them that because, who wouldn't? But I also would know that would not make them happy. Correct.
And we have Holly, who is Julia's cousin.
Yes.
And Holly is, she's in this very slut-coded,
yes.
which I do kind of like the fact that people mention it, but they don't hammer her about it.
No, and even like she knows, like they're like, she's like, well, just because I take him out on a date doesn't mean I'm gonna have sex with him. And then she's like, okay, I will have sex with him, you know, because she's okay with it though.
Well, she's self-aware, but you know, the thing is, Holly isn't ashamed of who she is, nor is she going to let anyone shame her for it.
Yeah.
And I really like the character because Holly is kind of the Cupid of this.
Oh God, she's the catalyst, because if she hadn't wanted to see what church tongue was.
And the fact that she knew she was putting Robbie and Julia together in that kiss, but she didn't realize the depths of the emotions she would bring up.
She thought she was just making it awkward for them.
But when she found out, because she tries to date Robbie,
Yep.
it doesn't really go great because Robbie is asking about Julia.
Yeah.
She very insightfully and correctly concludes that he's in love with her.
Yep.
And then she tries to help him.
Yep.
Because she knows that Robbie is the right guy for her, for Julia.
Yep.
And I think that just shows all these characters have these facets. They're not just stereotypes that have nothing behind them.
No.
They are stereotypes, but they have living, breathing humans animating that stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
And Holly, I think, is one of those people that shows you the time. So they show you the date in which this is occurring, because everything she wears is so 80s.
So 80s, like the Madonna looks and the wearing the headband and the aerobics outfit is just like, yeah, that's
right. So everything she does is some kind of like reference to the 80s or the time period of the 80s.
Yeah.
And so she lets you know where you are at all times, whereas Julia kind of looks like she could be from maybe the 50s. With her
the hair
cardigan.
Well, so the one jacket that Julia wears, the denim,
the jean,
yeah, that was actually Drew Barrymore's. It is actually her jacket, and they liked it, so they had her. She wore it to set one time, and they were like, "Yeah, you got to put that on Julia."
You have to feel they were making fun of her a little bit.
So that's the one thing that I think was the problem for me with this movie, even like seeing it back when I saw it. Was now I've just kind of accepted it, but that is not 80s hair. Now, if they didn't have the flip in the back, like on the sides, then yes, it could be the Dorothy Hamill.
Yeah.
But
early 80s,
or that page boy kind of look. But because they do that little bit of a flip out onto the sides, it takes away the 80s-ness of it, and it gives her either like a 50s or that early 90s, that
retro vibe,
that was going out, so it's not a it's always kind of bothered me where they were really, really good with staying to that.
Maybe they did it on purpose because Julia is she's the constant in this film. She's that constant person, that constant character that people kind of revolve around, and I think that she's the baseline.
Well, and the thing I also like about Julia is her character does something that there's two types of characters. There's the characters that wear jewelry and they just wear jewelry. And then there's usually the character that wears jewelry and it means something.
Right.
Now, Julia wears the same pendant.
I love that pendant. I just love it.
But usually when a character wears something over and over and over again, they explain it. It's, oh, this was my dad's, or no, it was this da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They don't even acknowledge that she's wearing the same
in some way it's referenced, yes.
And the fact that is the most real life I've seen in a character in a lot of movies. How many people wear necklaces and never take them off, sleep in them, and for months and months on end, and never change their jewelry because that's what they live in? I do all the time. So that, to me, her having that same pendant was very realistic. It's not acknowledged. It's not even noticed, and she's wearing the same one over and over again.
It's kind of like her wearing the same denim jacket over and over again.
Yeah.
But her style of dress, everything else is very downplayed, considering everyone else around her wearing the Michael Jackson jacket.
Oh God, yes, Sammy and his Michael Jackson jacket.
Right, and the single glove.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that, but she is like this this bass line.
Yeah, because
that goes through it.
At their engagement party, Glenn's dressed like Don Johnson in Miami Vice.
With the white blazer and the pink t-shirt.
And let's talk about the colors.
Now, don't get started on the Pat Green of it all, because Pat will be very upset if we're dissing Miami Vice here.
I'm not dissing Miami Vice. I am dissing the color schemes of the 80s. So I have very distinct memories of going, and I think I've mentioned this on... Did I mention it in Benny and June? I don't remember when I mentioned it. But there are distinct colors that are like reflective of... let's see, the late 80s, early 90s, that mustard color that was on a lot of clothing.
Sure.
That was a very iconic color. In the early to mid...
Teal blue and pink.
The sherbet pink and that teal blue. And it was everywhere. Hell, I had a t-shirt that said Spring Break 88 that was pink with that teal blue. And guess what? I never been to Spring Break in anywhere, let alone in 1988 when I was 14.
And our class of 88 shirt, my graduating shirt, was teal blue with pink numbers.
So it was a very 80s thing. And the first wedding that we see in the movie, the color scheme is that fucking pink and the teal blue.
Worse, it's the satin pink, which is horrifying.
God. And when they are at Robbie's sister's house after he's stood up at his wedding, her walls are that, like, it's not a sage green, but it's kind of a sage green. And then it's got they had the cranberry blinds.
Yeah.
And then it had the placemats were the same. That was my grandmother's house color for a while. She had that dark green and not quite a hunter green, but it was like a dark green-ish and that cranberry color. And when I married my ex-husband, our first house/apartment, it was a house, but it was the size of an apartment, and it had that cranberry color rug because it was my sister-in-law's house before us.
Yeah.
And that was her colors, was that cranberry, and some things were green. So it's just the color scheme of the 80s, those two contrasting, if you know your color wheel, color theory. But it was a lot, and it was they did that great. They did a really good job of grabbing onto those colors, and it brings you back to the time, I feel, in a more realistic way when you see not just the anachronistic cars and clothing. It's when you actually see the homes painted and designed and decorated. That brings you back. It's not just the...
Oh, no, they had a lot of detail.
Very detailed work.
Yeah. And in this film, it evokes a lot of, friendship. Mm-hmm. Is really heavy themed in this. We have Sammy, who is his constant best friend. Yes. Who they pick on each other, but ultimately are very vulnerable with.
Now, Sammy drives the only limo in town.
True. Yet they test him. And make him run through them, and as if he might not get the job. And he's very worried about it.
But I like that. You could have killed people. They were cones!
It's like the best part. But not just Sammy, but Robbie and Julia. Mm-hmm. Julia, they form a friendship. And, back in 98, when I saw this, it evoked a lot of feelings of me and you.
Oh, yeah, because we were buddies.
Because we built a friendship. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were always hanging out. Oh, yeah. And there was no real expectation of anything more than that for me. Even though I was in love with you, I still didn't have an expectation of more.
Oh, no. And I mean, shit, I didn't drive. And even if I did drive, I didn't have a car. So you took me everywhere in our little towns of Crapwater and Murded. And, shit, you took me to you took me to all my OBGYNs, when I was pregnant. And
true, they thought I was the spouse.
God damn. I mean, shit, you were even there for the ultrasound and the baby daddy was not.
But, I formed a friendship with you just like they did, and it always echoes back to me that it's much like that in so many ways.
Oh, yeah.
And so when they start forming that friendship, it's always very endearing to me because I feel it personally.
Yeah, like I have a feeling like if she had married Glenn and they stayed where they were in that town, that her and Robbie would have stayed friends. And then if she had gotten pregnant, he would have taken her and did the same things. You know, it would have been that. Then that would have been us. You know, it would have been very similar to.
And situationally, sure.
But I mean, like he would have been that friend too.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
that definitely I could see that going in that direction, even if if it hadn't changed.
Not everything's a direct path from A to B. Sometimes
No.
You go the windy path. It takes more time, but I think it's actually probably better that we got there the way we did.
Oh yeah, because I definitely needed to mature a lot. I needed to grow the hell up.
You had to find your own path. You had to find yourself.
But you were the first person to see my oldest, so yeah, there you go.
True.
Because I didn't even get to see the ultrasound. They had to turn to it, but you got to see him before I saw him.
That's true.
And you also know that I drank way too much water. Because they said to drink tumbler. Oh, they said to drink two tumblers or something like that. And they didn't say ounces, they said tumblers. And you have to understand, I had these huge pink tumblers at the time. And I drank 2 or 3 of these things.
4 gallons of water.
I'm surprised I didn't die. And all I ate that day was some potato chips and some canned peaches. And I threw them all up, projectiled them. I've never seen anything come out of me that fast. I mean, I feel bad now looking back at it. But I was also 19 and very shy. So, like, I did not hit the toilet with that vomit, and then I sneakily left the bathroom. I didn't say anything about it, and I feel bad now going, I should have said something and, gotten a nurse or an orderly or somebody to help me, but at the time I was so embarrassed with myself.
there are 2 things you can get away with in a hospital. Using the bathroom in your bed and puking in a toilet and missing it.
Yeah, but usually you tell somebody.
I know, but there's nothing wrong with the Irish goodbye in the bathroom. You just slip the fuck out and you walk away.
It was a single occupancy too, so it was like...
They knew exactly who did it.
Oh, gee, the big pregnant woman, who's waddling away as fast as she could with vomit in her hair.
That's why you can't go back to that hospital.
Well, I don't intend to.
So you gave a hint.
A hint.
Last week.
Oh, yes, I did.
About Carrie Fisher.
Yes.
And she was the screen doctor, the script doctor.
She made Julia.
She added, what did they call it? Heart and strength and dimension to Julia, which needed to be done.
Oh, definitely.
And I like that Carrie's thing was to make women smarter and the love scenes better.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to do it right. Don't make them just the recipient of a kiss.
No. And that's true, because when they were doing the kiss for Holly, she initiated it. She changed it up. And so, yeah, no, definitely.
Not to mention, too, that, we're going to mention it, but also Judd Apatow and Adam Sandler both did polish work on the screenplay. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people had their hands in this.
Oh, definitely. But yes, that's why I said it was a princess turned general.
Yeah.
And Carrie Fisher's another person who I hate that we lost.
Yeah.
She was awesome.
But she had a lot of battles that she fought, and she won.
She won.
Many of them. And, eventually you get tired.
Sometimes the battle scars are the ones that we wear with pride. And I think that's what it came down to with her, was there were some battles she knew she wasn't going to ever totally overcome, so she just wore the scars.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made her who she was and made her the amazing person that I feel that she was. And as a fan, I feel that she was. But yes, sometimes you just have to say, I can't do this anymore.
True enough. So Julia is an idealist. Mm-hmm. And I think idealists often see things that aren't there in people, which is probably why she was with her fiance. And
they also tend to not see things that they know are there. I hate to always use my I know when I was in it. But with my ex, I was a lot like that. I didn't see the drug use. I didn't want to see his addiction. He had a very huge heroin problem that he fought tooth and nail until his literal dying breath. And there's a lot I will never forgive him for, but there's a lot that pains me that he had to suffer, and his addiction was one of them. And I didn't see it, especially when I needed to see it, and it was in my face. My youth and idealism and belief that everybody is inherently good. Now I hate everybody. Now I think you're all just a bunch of assholes. No, it's not true. I think a lot of people are just assholes, but I've become an asshole as well. But I think at that time I was still in that whole everybody is good and nobody is bad and la la la. I didn't see that. So I see that, Julia, I understand that. You love somebody so much that you can't believe in your heart that they're doing anything.
Well, it doesn't even enter your mind to think.
So you don't think that they're doing anything
right.
bad. And then when you find out that they're doing something bad, it is such a fucking blow.
Well, yeah, you get disillusioned.
It's a kick to the chest is what it is.
Sure.
Fucking horse back foot straight into your chest bone. I mean, knocked across the room. That's how it feels. And it's horrifying.
I don't think she ever really truly understands Glenn.
No.
I think she just doesn't really love him.
No.
So in a way, her not loving him is a good thing, because if she had been in love with him, how long was she going to be with him and never notice his infidelity?
Exactly.
The way he treats people. He ultimately at some point was going to fail in his life. And when that happened, it would shatter him.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has his own image built up in his head. Without him and his brohams, he wouldn't be much of anything. Yeah. Without his job.
And knowing what we do know about, the 80s Wall Street lifestyle, we all saw Secret to My Success, or Secret of My Success. And we've all seen, The Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not, but I know of it.
I haven't, but others have. Others have. And they will carry on the story.
But it's not a sustainable lifestyle. It's that fast paced, go, all for the money, all for the coke, all for the, it's not a sustainable lifestyle. It is extremely unhealthy. And Glenn doesn't take me as anybody who would be astute enough to keep going through it, to come out the other side still living high. Right. A lot of people have, and a lot of people did. But a majority of them did not. It was a very brief window of blink and you might miss it.
I think a cool part of this is that Julia falls in love with Robbie without confronting the faults and the issues of Glenn. Yeah. So it's not about Glenn. No. It's about her falling in love with a person independently.
Yeah. And
without being pushed to it.
And when she talks to her mom about it, it's not because she's, she does say that she doesn't think she loves Glenn. And that she thinks that she likes Robbie more. She's torn between the two. And in her mind, she's weighing them equally and trying to find which direction to go in. I did care for this person and I've dedicated myself to this person, but this person is everything I wanted and then some.
But it wasn't about Glenn's fault.
No.
It was about
her own feelings.
Who she loves. Yeah. And then when she finds out that, Robbie gets drunk and his ex shows up, and she wants to make another go of it, but he's really drunk. Yeah. So he's asleep and Julia runs to the house to declare her love for him.
Mm-hmm. And then Linda answers the door.
And Linda answers in his
Van Halen shirt.
Van Halen t-shirt, which we can see how that turned out.
So it's funny.
Made the band break up.
So that there's so many little moments like that where, he says that, you're, take off my shirt before you jinx the band and they break up. But like when they are talking to the photographer and the photographer thinks that at the time Robbie and Julia are together and she's like, you guys look like you're gonna last, like Don and Ivana and Woody and Mia and Bert and Lonnie, and none of these couples have stayed together.
Well, the funny thing is, like, David Lee Roth left Van Halen in '85, so the same year that they were doing that.
God damn it, Linda!
That it was set in, that the film was set in.
You did it, Linda. God damn, you got your unluckiness on it.
But she only goes back to Glenn because she's hurt.
Yes.
And she does love him.
Yeah, she does.
So this
care.
isn't about hating someone. This is just about loving someone.
You can love somebody and not be in love with them.
Sure.
There, and sometimes that happens in relationships, and they don't, you still care. You still care. You just don't have that magic. I guess, I don't know. That's what I mean. In love is a magic feeling.
Yeah.
And so I think with her, it's, I do love him. I still care. I just don't have that feeling anymore now. I have that for Robbie, and now I'm hurt. So now if he's going back with the wildebeest, then
maybe I'm meant to be with Glenn.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Maybe Linda made the decision for me.
Sure. And, that leads to the culmination of everything where he writes a song as Robbie's going to go get her.
Yep.
And he decides this at the party in which Rosie is singing. Mm-hmm. Which is adorable.
I know, because she practiced that for her 50th anniversary.
I know, and that's what they've been training for all this time.
Yeah,
so she's singing to her husband.
Yes, because she wanted him to be proud of her and to know that she worked hard to learn this song for him. And that's still in love. That's the magic. It's still there. 50 years.
Right.
And they're still together. And she's, she was secretly preparing this song for him. That's adorable. And of course, then she breaks out the Sugar Hill Gang and all bets are off because that's the fucking coolest thing you ever heard in your life.
But that's, after Robbie has left.
Yeah.
With Holly and Sammy.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go and get Julia.
Yes.
And there's only one seat left on the plane.
And
Flock of Seagulls sells it to them.
Yes. You like Flock of Seagulls?
I can see you, dude. So we have Billy Idol.
Billy Idol, who at that point in 1998 had still looking fine. And honestly, I bet you if I pull up a picture of him now, he's probably still a fine looking man.
He's shrunken. He seems smaller than he used to be, but he's still adorable.
Oh, because he's Billy Idol.
Yeah, and he's still doing shows. He's still playing gigs. The man's still playing gigs to this day.
Yeah, that man is just it's Billy Idol.
He still rocks it.
Rock the Cradle of Love.
After all this time. Yeah.
Well, that was a bad song, Billy. That was just not a smart choice.
That one may not have aged well. And sometimes it didn't age at all.
No. Love you, but
which is the problem.
Eyes without a face.
So at the end, Robbie sings "Grow Old with You" to Julia. But here's my thing: it is sweet.
Yes,
it is a sweet moment. It is handled in a way in which he does not have to fight Glenn.
Nope. This guy for
Well, he doesn't have to fight.
He doesn't fight anybody.
He doesn't have to fight Glenn. He doesn't have to fight anyone. And it's handled in a way to where there is not this big confrontation.
No.
It's a declaration of love, and that's all that it is. And it's allowed to be that way without the fight. Glenn doesn't care that much.
No.
He doesn't care at all, really. He just wanted to go to Vegas.
Yeah, he just wanted to go to Vegas, and honestly, he can find another Julia.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter to him that much, because he obviously didn't fight that much.
No.
But for me, the most important part in the movie is a very small part, and I know people have seen it. I know they'll know what I'm talking about. It is when Robbie's wanting to help this kid at the bar mitzvah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's not a traditional kid, like he's bigger than some of the other kids.
He's a husky boy.
He has the hair, everything else, and he's a perfectly fine kid. But kids are cruel.
They are.
And they're being cruel to him. And he's lonely, and he's just sitting there. So Robbie asks Julia to dance. He invites her to dance with him.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets what's happening. She understands what Robbie's getting at.
Yes.
Because he's officiating all of this.
Yes.
From the stage. And when they're dancing, he sings That's All. That's a song from 1952.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment where she turns, where they're dancing, and she turns and she looks at Robbie and Robbie looks at her, for me, that is when they fell in love.
Yeah.
That's the moment they both fell in love. Now, they were in love before, I think, individually, like thinking about love. But I think that is the moment where they fell in love.
Yeah.
And that's where it was always going to lead to this moment at the plane.
Okay. No, you're right. It was definitely that dance because he was singing to her. You could tell he was singing to her.
Yeah, and they were looking in each other's eyes when he was singing it.
Yeah. And here's the thing is they kind of imply that they had set this up ahead of time. But Julia's kind of surprised expressions, like she didn't know that this was going to happen, makes me believe that they didn't set it up, that she knew which kid he was talking about only because she saw him talking.
Yeah, no, he
him.
directed her, and she got him. She understood.
And that is, again, you don't get that with just anybody. there has to be some type of a connection to be able to understand somebody's unspoken reactions. But that boy, that if you have not seen this movie, or you aren't sure which child we're talking about, that is the chocolate cake boy from Matilda. If you haven't seen The Wedding Singer,
means nothing.
His name is Jimmy Cars, and if you know, you know. He and at the reunion for Matilda, they actually made a cake that looked just like that for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the chocolate cake for him.
I guess, because I don't really know what we're talking about.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. We need to add Matilda to the list then.
He's a big deal. You want to watch out for him.
Yeah, we need to add Matilda to the list. I've been writing down movies as we've been talking about them because I tend to forget to add them.
Okay.
I've got 3 so far. Just from this episode alone.
So looking back on it now, after seeing it just, an hour ago?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
It's still a magical movie to me. It still holds my heart. It's one of those few movies I could watch over and over again. You could put that on in a loop and I will continue to watch it all day long. I would not get tired of it. Remember back in the day when we were very, very poor, and I'm not talking about right now because we are very, very poor right now, but I'm talking about when we were poorer and I didn't have cable. We didn't have cable.
Yeah.
And we let our youngest watch movies over and over on DVD.
Madagascar.
And why I can't sit through Bye Bye Birdie or Enchanted ever again. Not Enchanted. Enchanted.
Yeah.
Because I want to say Encanto. No, Enchanted. The other E movie. Yes, is because she would watch them over and over again on a loop. If she had put The Wedding Singer on, I would be okay with it. I could sit through this movie over and over. It's kind of like when we do A Christmas Story, but even A Christmas Story wears on me after a while.
Like in California when Eve played Hook over and over again. Yeah. That movie got old very quickly.
Yeah. So, yes, this is still a good movie. It still holds true. I still have the same feelings. I see things that I maybe didn't always pay attention to in no, that's not true. I've always thought that Glenn was a piece of shit and how he treated her and talked to her always bothered me. Because I've been in those relationships where you're just like, even though they just basically called you a dumb bimbo. But you're just like, you don't mean that. You're just being funny, So, yeah, it's still good. You?
Yeah, I think that it hasn't really changed for me, despite the fact that some things have changed.
Mm-hmm.
The Alexis of it all.
Yes, the Alexis of it all.
Obviously is going to have an issue for me because I feel very strongly about trans women being represented correctly, and
Alexis was a huge advocate. Even, regardless of what their personal journey became, they were still a huge
I don't
advocate.
think that, the playing up of her being the butt of the joke all the time, even if you just take the presentation as an effeminate man, I don't think that is a good way to do things. I think it could have been so much better. Robbie was a sweet guy, so why would he do that to his friend?
Yeah. I do like that Steve Buscemi thought that George was very attractive.
Right. But again, it's that playing up of the trope of, oh, it's a guy. You just liked a guy. So that kind of thing.
Though I don't think Steve would have been, the Steve Buscemi character would have cared either way.
It's important to note that the character that Alexis was playing was a man.
It was a man.
So she was playing a man. So.
But I do still think that if Steve Buscemi's character hit on George and then they did hook up, I think he would have been like, whatever. Getting laid by the pretty.
I think he would have been okay. And I think he would have been a good wedding singer at the end just as well.
Yes.
So, what do you think about the Castellini test?
I think we're going to get hung up on number 2, but I think we'll be okay.
Okay. Well, let's see if this works out. There have to be at least 2 named women characters with at least 5 lines of dialogue each.
Julia, Linda, Holly, his sister, Rosie.
Let's just stick with the 2 mains, Julia and Holly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have more than 5 lines of dialogue. Those characters must have a conversation, not necessarily with the other woman, either not about their partner or with their partner, future or current, and not about their relationship.
Okay, so let's define this for a really quick second, because everything that they talk about is about relationships.
That's why it gets hard.
So let's say romantic relationship. Is it about Robbie and Julia? Then no. Only, Julia talks to Robbie about her relationship with Glenn. He talks about his relationship with Linda.
A lot of relationship talk is going to make it difficult.
But they don't talk about their own. They talk about each other, their relationship with one another. Then I would say no.
Yeah, but we're talking about
any relationship
about their partner or with their partner.
While they do talk about relationships, they do talk about other stuff.
We have other things we can go to, like Julia and Holly.
Yes, well, even like just helping her with the wedding planning. They're talking about wedding singers, and they're talking about the photographer and the photo, and hell, even the whole scene with Sammy in the limo. Yes, while these all have to do with the wedding, they're not talking about the actual relationship. So again, you got to kind of be really specific about what you're talking about.
There's going to be a sticking point because Julia and Holly, even though they're talking about other things, they are talking about relationships the entire time.
Oh yeah, so you have to be more like, you can't broad stroke it.
Well, I think that you kind of have to, because if you start picking apart what it actually means, instead of taking it at its face value, which is that all of these are about relationships. Every conversation they have in this entire thing is about a relationship. Julia doesn't stop talking about relationships in this film.
Yeah.
Robbie doesn't either.
Yeah. So, like I said, what kind? Is it going to be the real romantic between... Is it relationships in general? Is it relationships having to do with like the wedding, or does it have to do with them particularly together? They've had multiple types of of conversations.
Sure, but they're all about relationships.
Unfortunately. So yeah.
I don't think it's going to pass that one. However, integral, at least one of the women has to be integral to the plot, meaning that if she were written out of the film, it couldn't reach the same ending.
Well, yeah. Julia.
Yeah, definitely Julia.
Well, okay, so...
Sometimes I have a secondary. I do not have one in this one. Even Holly, I can't say that if she was not in it.
Yeah. Rosie would be weird.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Julia has a conversation with somebody, because like Robbie has the conversation with the... Oh, yeah. Okay, so Robbie has a conversation with the bank guy about getting the job. And it's not about his relationship. It is about getting a job to maintain a relationship, but it's not about his relationship. He doesn't talk to him about it.
But we're not talking about...
I know, wait a minute. But during that scene, Julia goes to Rosie to talk to see if he's there, to give him the music sheets that she made for him.
The romantic gift?
But she didn't talk about a relationship. She's asking where he is, and he went to go on. He's not going to do this for me anymore. But I thought he liked to teach you. So they're not talking about a relationship. They're talking about his career as a music teacher. Working with her. So okay. I'm going to give it that.
If you want to eke it out,
I'm going to eke it out.
I'm going to say it doesn't.
Okay.
I'm going to say it's not going to pass the Castellini.
It's just a hard one because everything is relationship.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't pass. For me, it doesn't pass.
Yeah, the whole movie is just about relationships, so yeah.
Now, as far as do the women have agency in the film?
I think so. I do. I think that's where it's going to go. It's going to pass femininity outside of Castellini test.
Does George have agency in this film?
I don't think so, in the sense that we don't really see him outside of his relationship with
the band.
Yeah.
Or the scenario that he's thrust into.
Yeah, so you don't really see George beyond that. So
I'm just outside the Castellini, it's not a perfect system.
No.
This is just something to give us an idea.
Yeah.
I don't think it's egregious. I don't think it's egregiously ignoring equity.
Is it a diverse cast? No.
No.
It is a white cast.
It is quite white.
Mm-hmm. If it was any whiter, Suburbia would be like vomiting,
Okay.
It's just too white.
So yeah, I think that it doesn't pass, but I don't think it's egregious that it's not passing. I think it's just a product of the time that it's written for, rather than the time that it's written in.
Yes. No, definitely. But if you would like to see this movie, you can find it on Sling TV, YouTube, Fandango at Home, Google Play, Apple TV, and Amazon Prime, either through subscription or rent it for $3.99.
Yeah. This has been Once More with Feelings with Beth and Michelle. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at OMWFPod. Visit our page at oncemorewithfeelings.podbean.com, or you can send us an email. We'd love to hear from you at omwfpod@gmail.com. Take a moment to subscribe, rate us on iTunes, ring the bell, blow the whistle.
Ring my bell. Okay.
Sure.
Whatever you got to do. Okay, so next week, here are your 2 clues, one bigger than the other.
Is that the clue?
No. one of the clues literally is just 2 words. Oh. But, okay, so the first clue is, while this actor, the lead actor, this is his favorite movie. He was in 2 films that year, this one being one of them. This movie was a minor hit, and the other one, being a sequel, was an actual bomb. And the other clue is lamb fries.
Oh, I know what this movie is now. I forget what the movies are, and sometimes even the hints don't catch it for me. But that just got me.
Lamb fries.
I completely remember that scene now. Crazy.
I didn't want to call them by their other name, because that would give it away.
No, I get that. So don't look on the interwebs for the answers, otherwise we will know. And
I don't care.
You'll be penalized.
If they do, then maybe they'll answer and they'll email us and let us know instead of the air.
I don't know why they would email us to let us know. Just go on Blue Sky and let us know.
Go on Blue Sky, email.
What are we
go
like?
To Instagram.
What are we in our 80s emailing people?
Get me on the AOL.
Go into the forums. Jeez. Go on the BBS.
On the Netscape Navigator.
Why does everybody use Netscape Navigator?
Link.
What are we, from the 90s?
Oh, god damn it.
Okay, I need you people to get the hell out of here.
I gotta go get something to drink. I love you all.
I don't have an ending for this.
I do.
What?
They were cones!
There you go. That's a good one. Although we can end it however we like.
Yes.
Yeah, let's just do the cones. Sammy says,
They were cones.
bye, people.
Bye.
You hit 2 cones. Those could have been people. Those could have been guests at her wedding. They were cones.